Okay, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, talking about surviving the city after a shit fan situation. And this is part 2, and we're talking about starting a 3-man militia when you need it, when things are gone. Okay, now, after this, whatever this bad thing is starting up, it'll be nice if you've got police and military already in place. They're starting to do things, and then you can offer your services with them. In other words, they're already set up as 3-man militias, whether they know it or not. And so what you're going to have to do is fit in with them. That would be the easiest, nicest way. And the reason is what I talked about earlier. They already have a support system going. So then now what you can do is join this support system. Join in with them. Start working with them. That's the way to do it. You don't really want to go to a refugee camp. You really don't want to do that. Now, when you have family and this type of stuff that you're working with, oh man, I'd still say don't want to go with the refugee camp. Try to put your family, find a purpose that your family can work at. In other words, if they're doing security in a certain spot, we're trying to lock down this one certain area, get your family together in that area and work with the police on that. That's what I would do. I say the refugee thing is not a good thing. Now, it may be a little different in the United States. Ask FEMA. See how they're going to do it. I think they want to treat everybody like animals, to tell you the truth. That's what I think. I want people to stay busy. I want people to have responsibilities, because it's a scary time. And when you lose purpose, when your purpose is only to survive, well, then you are just a hungry dog on the street. But if you've got a purpose, that's what I was talking about. You got your family. We're going to try to control. This section right here, you volunteer your family to work with the police or military to control this area. You know what I mean? But you're working with them. This is, like I say, the best thing. Now, if you don't have the military or police, and in some cases they may be the problem, such as UN forces or just stuff. Things happen. So what you're going to have to do is figure out an area. You see this is a good clear. See how clear this is with steps. I know you can't see the grade on there, but it's a grade going down or going up. And but anyway, you need to be able to let's just use this area as an example. Now see, there's a government building, and government buildings are usually pretty good because the walls are nice and thick, and they've got some kind of security system already set up. But whether it's a school or, like I say, just a government building, a lot of people go to hotels in case of disaster. You've seen it in South Africa. When things started getting bad, people went to hotels thinking they were going to get some shelter there, because hotels are usually set up with all that stuff. And then at that time, you'd be happy to be on the what do you call it? In the hallway. You'd be happy to sleep in the hallway and share bathrooms with people. But you're still, and that probably will be even better than a FEMA camp. Probably a refugee camp, FEMA camp, would probably be about the last place that I would want my family to be at. And so that's what I'm saying. You need to look at areas and make judgments on these areas on if they're going to work for you for and for whatever you're going to do. I would be looking for a place. I wouldn't be looking for long term if I'm in the city. And I could be really wrong on this. But like I say, I wouldn't be looking for a long-term place. I'm talking days in the matter of maybe 2 weeks. But I think something is going to have to happen by then. But I could be wrong on that. There is Bosnia, I think it was Bosnia, where they were fighting in the streets in the cities. And it was months. And people still had work to do, and they had to run to keep from getting shot because in the streets, they had snipers everywhere. So I could be wrong on something like that. I'm just kind of hoping things will get kind of settled in in a couple of weeks, but that's not a guarantee. And and now when you are getting these, trying to find these places and do something with these places, you're going to have people you're going to have to work with. That's what I'm saying. You're going to be starting these three-man militias up with just plain old people. There's nothing wrong with that. Providing these people understand what's going on. And that's what I'm saying. Now we're talking about ex-police or military. It wouldn't hurt if you had one or two of them amongst you. You know what I mean? Because they kind of half-ass understand what's going on. But the thing is, you will have people. If it really gets bad, you're going to have people that are just plain bloodthirsty. These people are really vicious and nasty. There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is you're going to have, or you may have with them, is if they're uncontrollable. Just like having a dog that bites people. Well, you don't want a dog that bites people unless you got people that need to be bit. So that's why when you get people that are really cold and nasty and killers, you may need them. And as long as they know that they're like that, and you can get them to work with you, that's not a bad thing. Now, if they're just plain old, they just want to kill everybody that comes along with, that's not going to work. I've said that before. On me, I've told people I'd be coming in and the first thing they say, "Boy, we'd have a sniper, we'd kill you first thing." Okay, well, so you done screwed up, because by the time you saw me, that means I'm in position to take over your area already. I just don't want to, and so that's why you just can't have crazies like I just talked about. Oh, we'll just kill you. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work that way. And besides that, now these people, once they're killers, if they're just downright cold-blooded killers, once things calm down, they will have to pay the price. You just can't go around killing people. They try to use that in war. Remember the Nazis, they were killing the Jews, and they said, well, I was ordered to do that. Well, that didn't work. You cannot do immoral acts. So there's a way to be a killer, and you have to be able to control that person. That's what I'm back talking about, the morals. being moral doesn't. I had somebody make a comment on something else. Moral people, don't fight. No, moral people, they fight really good. Okay, people don't understand me when, but I'm big time in violence. But they don't understand. I fight for the people and the things that I cherish. I don't fight people that I hate. That's not what this is all about. Moral people fight because they have to fight. That doesn't mean they fight like weenies. They're vicious. Like I say, I've made videos talking about my Vietnam experience. Why do you think we were able to fight such numbers? A small amount of us fighting big numbers of them. The biggest thing was morals. We were fighting with our morals. And the ones we were going up against, they were ordered to fight us. And see, that's the biggest difference. You will still have that same thing apply when you are in the city and you're trying to survive. You have a moral responsibility. It's easier for some than others. And that's what I'm the same way. I don't worry when it comes to the violence part. I will go on and do it. I know my moral responsibility. I can do it. Some people can't. And when they don't do it, then they will not take a life when it should have been taken. And other people are going to hurt because of that. It's not a pretty thing. And that's why I'm saying you need to watch for the people that can do it and do it right, and the people are just plain crazy. Because in a situation like this, when bad things start happening to you, some people just do. They get kind of crazy. And that's where your leadership is going to have to come in to be able to control them, bring them back, calm them back down, and all this kind of stuff. But you got to be ready, because man, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. Now, I'm sorry. I wish I could give you more accurate, more step A, B, and C, but it's not going to be that easy. There's going to be a lot of it you're going to be playing by ear. You are going to have to work with people that you normally wouldn't work with. You're going to have to get along with people that you normally wouldn't get along with. What comes to mind is gangs, gang people. You may be working with gang people. I have no problem working with gang people. On a situation like that, I would work with anyone, providing they can keep their marbles together without getting crazy. And crazy is covering a lot, and there's a lot of things that we call crazy now that will not be crazy at that time. So it's not an easy this and that, but you need to be thinking now. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.